What's up? We got The Flash, Season 3, Episode 5, Monsters. This episode starts off with Barry living at Cisco's. What? And he's like, he's glad to have him here, but he doesn't know about his other visitor. He's like, you mean Wells? He's like, please, call me HR. Yes, we will call you Human Resources, please. Hey, can I call Human Resources? Can I call HR Wells? Can I call Human Resources? You want to pull him through? Thank you. Here's HR, buddy. I don't know why. So there's something about Cisco's like there's something about him. He's like, we can't just trust every person that we can't just distrust every Wells just because we had bad experience with one of them. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay. So yeah. So then we see Caitlin, and she decides to go visit her mom to discover what's wrong with her powers. You know. So back with the whole. So back with the Star Labs team, we see Human Resources HR Wells and the team all hanging out, and he's basically trying to like give them coffee and. He's trying to give them coffee during the test, but Cisco's like, hold up, Human Resources, we don't, or HR, you can't just do this. You can't just give us coffee and expect us to just trust you off the hop. It has to be a 3-year development. It's been a 3-year development where we all begin to trust each other. But this is Iris's second year on the team. What do you mean 3-year development? This is Iris's second year on Team Flash. She joined at the end of season 1. What do you mean third year? Cisco, it's third year. This is Joe's second year, Wally's first year, Iris's second year, Barry's third year, Cisco's third year, and Caitlin's third year of being on this team. What do you mean it's all been 3 years? I just told you how many years it's been for each character who has been on this team. So he's like, where's Caitlin? And he's like, ooh, Caitlin, yeah. And yeah, she basically says that she'll be gone for a little while. Hope he can have fun without her. Don't let Cisco touch her pizza pockets, which we see Cisco doing until. It's just kind of funny that she says don't do it, and then we see Cisco trying to do it. It's kind of funny. So Barry's basically like, Julian. Hey, Julian. And Julian's like, so Barry gets to work, and he sees Julian, and then Captain saying, and Julian's basically like, see, Captain saying, Barry is always light, mate. He's really not good at his job. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, he's been doing some really sketchy stuff, like looking at his case files, and he's like, Barry, you've been looking at your work person's case files and doing all this other shady stuff. And he's like, well, and he always comes in late after being where. And he's like, Barry, just don't do that next time. And he's like, okay. And he's like, wait a minute, that's all he gets. I complain about him and get all the reason Barry's done wrong, and he just gets a second talking to. And he's like, what was up? What was up with that, Julian? Outing me to the captain? What the crap is wrong with you? And he's like, well. And he's like, well, I just seen why everyone likes you, Barry Allen. You're the golden boy of the CCPD. I really don't like Julian and this episode, and yeah. I really like Tom Felton, though. I think Tom Felton is doing an amazing job at making me not like this character. So, yeah. So, anyway, they decide to, like, they decide, so, yeah. So, Barry's like, hey, Julian, why don't you like, why don't you like, why don't I show you, and if it fail, and if I see how you work, and if it works, I'll give you the lab, and I can just rent out somewhere else. And he's like, seriously? And he's like, seriously? Well, fine, right? Fine. So yeah, so it's like, I'll let you know. And as soon as Barry has his lunch date with Iris, Julian decides to call him, and he's like, well, I gotta see how Julian works. So Julian basically explains that. He's like, why are you being so bad, Julian? And he's like, because the Flash. People are giving these gifts to save people. Instead, they use it to destroy the city. They're giving incredible gifts, but instead they use it to rob banks and steal and do all bad stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of a bad idea. So yeah. So the team. So yeah. So then Barry. So yeah. So then there's a monster attack, and a monster attacks Central City. So yeah. So he's like, Empire of the Sun, Barry, and he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So meanwhile, Caitlin's mom is basically like. Caitlin's mom is basically the terrible character that we all expect her to be, and she basically just to say, Caitlin's like, she's the patient she needs to look after. So basically, that's the entire episode 2, where Caitlin's mom and Caitlin's mom's friend is basically, testing her power until that guy decides to get greedy and decides to be like, "Ooh, Caitlin, you can't leave. You're the only reason how I can get her mom's thumb." And she's like, "I'm gonna test you." She's like, "No, you're not." And she's like, "Yes, I am." And she's like, "You're not gonna test me, Nigel. Not now or ever." And then the Killer Frost side comes out. I call it the Killer Frost side because it's basically her Killer Frost alter ego side. She basically attacks Nigel, saying, and Caitlin, I know you. And the Killer Frost like, you know nothing about me, and she's like, I may not have been around, but I know that you would never hurt someone. So yeah, so we never know what happens to this Nigel guy. So she's like, oh, I'll deal with him. No one will ever find out about your powers. Good. So yeah. So yeah. So then they decide to go and to defeat the bad guy until Barry reveals it's a hologram. The monster isn't real. It's just a hologram. So yeah. So it's real that HR. It's revealed that HR has been writing a novel. The only reason he came to Earth, Human Resources, has been writing a novel. And the only reason why he came to Earth 1 was to find for his new novel. He's like, you've been writing a novel? Yes. It's like he's calling the Tales of Human Resources Wells. Yes, I'm calling him Human Resources because that's what HR basically means. I don't know why this guy is other Wells have been Harrison, Harry, but HR, what does that even stand for? Usually HR stands for Human Resources. So I'm gonna call him Harrison. I'm gonna call him Human Resources Wells. Like I called Jesse Trajectory 2.0. It's not because I don't like these characters. It's just because their names are so confusing. Like Barry, yeah. So it's revealed that he's actually writing a novel. So then Caitlin, how are we supposed to trust you? And she's like, trust you? And he's like, so then he's like, Empire of the Sun, Barry. And he's like, Empire Strikes Back, Barry. And he's like, just like an ant. And he's like, the bigger the harder they fall. she's an Empire too. So yeah, but then they reveal it's a hologram. So Barry busts in to reveal it's just some kid. The person behind the monster is just some child who wanted to scare some people because he gets teased all the time. And this makes Julian reveal that maybe it makes Julian think that if he's wrong about the Flash being bad, maybe he's wrong about Barry too. There, yeah. So now they're gonna give Wells, like, human resources Wells, a few minutes, a few weeks to see if he can do what he did, because he's basically a con man. He's basically a con man where he cons you, and he's like, we'll give you a few weeks to see if you can see, but if you fail, it's back to your Earth. And he's like, okay, for now, human resources Wells is on the team. Yeah, but then, so then Caitlin's mom decides to send her a video saying about how the more Caitlin uses her powers, the difficult they're going to be to reverse, so she cannot use her powers under any circumstances. But that's when the Killer Frost side takes over and completely freezes the computer Caitlin's using. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I really like this episode. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for more of The Flash. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Wow. I really don't like it. I love the HR Wells thing. Hey, human resources Wells and Julian, they're okay. Julian's terrible, but he's okay. He's basically a con man. That's human resources Wells' deal.